Really don't understand how most YouTubers are this enthusiastic in the morning, but good morning guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog here on Cars and Crouchy. This 2013 GTR is coming with me to Beaulieu today for Simply Japanese, and it is the 50th anniversary of the GTR badge. So without further ado, let's get this thing cold started, get some fuel in it, give it a quick wash even though it's super early in the morning, and pick my mate up and head to Beaulieu.
Please don't
I apologise for the road noise in advance, but we do have a dodgy front drive shaft, I think. But you know what they say, I'm skint, so just go drive till it blows up. But still drives fine, so I can put up with a little bit of rotational noise. Probably a diff, could be something like that. So worst comes to the worst, you're talking vibrational damage, ruins transmission is 20 grand. But let's just hope for the best and hope that it's just something like a control arm, because they're only a few £100. And that's the best case scenario. So we are on our way to Simply Jap. I've got James with me, who's totally out of the frame because I've been using a DSLR and road noise is horrendous, as I've already said. But we've given the car a clean £1.80 at Shell, shout out, totally sponsored by them, and it looks like it's only killed a few $100 instead of a few thousand, and I'd say a good 95% of the tree sap is off the car, so totally in a display worthy condition with the new stickers, Instagram stickers on the back window, looking pretty jazzy. Well, we are currently sat in the queue to get into Simply Jap. We're on the A1 stand. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but there is a gorgeous looking GTA 6 behind us. A lovely purple colour. Probably one of the best looking GTA 6s I've ever seen. But yeah, we're queuing to get in, and I was debating whether it was worth pushing it in the queue or not, because I was like, pushing it's bad for the drivetrain, even in neutral, because this car doesn't like that. And driving is bad for the clutch, so I've decided to go with the clutch, mainly because I'm lazy, to be honest. Right, we have arrived. The car is absolutely roasting because we were sat in like a queue, but we're in the main GTR display paddock next to this lovely R34 over here. But yeah, there's some really cool GTRs around here. There's a brand new one over there with the diamond cut wheels. It looks really nice, so I'm going to take a look at. But I've literally just opened the bonnet up to let it cool off a bit because I've got nothing to flex, it's pretty much stopped. Lovely pearlescent silver on this one, but the clean off job on mine was a bit of a slapdash jobby because it hadn't been cleaned in 3 weeks and it was covered in tree sap and stuff from outside the house. But obviously engine bay could do with a thorough detail, but we literally pulled up at Shell, paid £1.80 for a jet wash and wiped it down with a Christmas jumper. So of course, being a Nissan fanboy, I'm a bit biased, but I absolutely love this 350Z. The canards at the front, ridiculous front splitter down there. It just looks amazing. They've even put some like paint coloured lining on the headlights to make them look more aggressive. A massive wing on the back, of course, and a few carbon bits as well. I absolutely love this car. I think it's sick and definitely very tastefully modified. The Nissan GTR anniversary is actually being held here in the arena, so there are a lot of Skylines, a few 350 GTs and a few Miatas and stuff as well, but mostly GTRs, which is really cool to see. There's a really nice R34 over there, but without further ado, let's hop into the B-roll and look at what cool cars we can find. Another spectacle of the show. This is a 2002 Toyota Yaris transversely mounted front engine. I'd have no idea how much power this one's pushing, but it's probably something absolutely ridiculous. You know, manual gearbox with the real driver's experience and a nice front wheel drive drivetrain so you can understeer everywhere. Perfect. The GTR R35 Owners Club is called Battalion 35. Here's another example of a lovely white GTR. It's a DBA, you can tell by the carbon rear diffuser, so it's the same as mine, except this looks amazing. It's got aftermarket tailpipes on the exhaust, so I suspect it's a full aftermarket system. Carbon top bit on the wing at the back and a carbon roof. They don't look wrapped, they look like real carbon fibre because you can see the actual fibres in it. looks really nice. And interestingly enough, these are actually the stock wheels, but they've been painted this really lovely blood red colour. Absolutely gorgeous. And the start button on the interior also says Ready Player One, which is just pretty cool. Yeah, seeing how good the paint finish is on this CBA GTR has really made me realise how much I really properly need a detail. But alas, I need petrol, so I can't afford one. I'm a massive fan of all RX-7s, right from the models in the 80s that actually one of my managers at work owns, all the way to the RX-7 like Sprint Rs and whatever one this is, the Eclipse or whatever it is. They're so cool. The reason they're cool is because unlike most engine architectures, these have what is called a Wankel engine or a rotary engine. And they haven't got a lot of displacement, but they actually produce a very large amount of power for the small amount of displacement they have. Which you would think was efficient, but it's not. They get horrendous miles per gallon because they effectively use like a triangle shape as the cylinder, and it spins around the crankshaft to actually cause rotational energy and drive the car. And it's a very inefficient way of driving a car because it just wastes so much fuel, and it's just a real hard thing to maintain apparently. I can't say I've ever owned one, and I love how they sound. I genuinely would love to own a rotary engine at some point. But the maintenance on it does scare me a little bit, but in all honesty, I think I should try one. I think I do need to try one. A lot of the time when I'm on Auto Trader looking for a car, because I'm often looking for a daily, I just search old Nissans. I think they all look gorgeous. Of course, the 300 SX is no exception. They're not too expensive, but they're really difficult to find with manual gearboxes. But I think they look sick. I love the whole 90s aesthetic, and I think the headlights are sick. And for those of you who don't know, I actually believe the Lamborghini Diablo has the same headlights as these because they just borrowed them straight out of the car, which is pretty cool. This is a lovely R34 wide body Skyline, absolutely sick. It looks really cool. I've never seen a turbocharger that big before. That is ridiculous. Lovely carbon finish on all the engine bay there as well. It just looks amazing. I love it. Got all of the mods listed at the front, but it's pushing 730 brake horsepower. The RB30 engine block, so it's just a legendary car. But seeing one of these actually pushing pretty much Fast and Furious spec is pretty cool. Now this is actually the second R35 I've seen with the standard rims but painted a different colour, and it's actually really inspirational. So I was going to get my my rims redone, so I've got a couple of scuffs on the outside alloys, and seeing them painted different colours really changes the whole stance of the car almost. But you can also see this is another white example with all of these side skirts and splitters as well as the rear diffuser replaced with body coloured panels. Now I actually really like that. It kind of makes the car sit a bit lower and gives it more of a chunky aesthetic, which a lot of people don't like, but I actually think looks good with the lines of the GTR itself, and it just looks really cool. This one isn't a Recaro edition, and I believe it is a CBA because it hasn't got the daytime running lights, but it's really interesting seeing one with the body coloured panels around the edge because it just makes it look so much lower. Never words I thought I'd say, but that is a pretty cool wide body Skyline pickup truck. Now, as lovely as this Supra Mark IV with the 2JZ in it is, I think the real spectacle over this side is a line of cube cars. Anyone could enlighten me what these gorgeous S660s are? They must be Japanese imports, I've got no idea what they are, but they look like they're mid-engine or possibly rear engine, depending on how far back it is. But they look like mini NSXs, and this one's got a Liberty Walk kit on it. I've got no idea what it is, so please inform me in the comments below, but they look sick. Yo Shah, why doesn't your mum do this to her Jazz? I think it'd be really good. Ram air intake, some knocker ducts on the front, pretty good. Yeah, this Bayside Blue R34 GTR looks completely original, including the wheels and everything. I think it is one of the best looking cars to roll out of a factory ever produced. And recently with GTR's 50th anniversary, Nissan have released Bayside Blue as a colour option on an R35 GTR. I believe it holds about a £10,000 premium over a standard GTR of the same spec. Obviously it's not the same price as a Nismo, but I love that colour. And the fact that they're paying homage to this car in the current generation of GTRs is pretty cool. But definitely, in my opinion, one of the best looking cars to roll out of a factory. Stop. It is literally so damn hot, but I'm hustling for you guys to try and get every single cool car here in the shop. But it really doesn't help that I'm really chubby, and we've got a massive heat wave thanks to everyone driving around with no catalytic converters on their exhaust. So you're welcome for the warm weather, I guess. Another really cool GTR over there. It's a CBA, but it's pushing 800 horsepower with Litchfield Stage 5, because that's aftermarket turbos and stuff. That's getting pretty serious. It's getting to the point where you probably need to upgrade clutch plates if you want to be really safe, and as well as maybe even first and second gear in the transmission. But upgrades like that can run north of, you know, 20-30k. So I would not want to be spending that sort of money unless the lotto rolled in. But if I had it, I probably would. So I think the reason the Japanese car scene is so big in England is A, because obviously all Japanese cars, standard from factory over there, come in right-hand drive, because both us and the Japanese drive on the same side of the road. So pretty much anything suitable for the JDM, the Japanese domestic market, is suitable over here. And additionally, none of the cars are extremely overpriced in terms of being worth crazy amounts of money. The GTR and the NSX and cars of that sort of echelon being the higher ones. And yes, they can cost quite a lot to modify, and people spend a lot on modifying these cars, but I think getting into Japanese car ownership and buying a car like a Subaru or even an old Skyline has so much tuning potential, and it's actually not too expensive to get into, which is why it's so popular for people who enjoy going fast and enjoy that sort of car culture around here in England. I was sort of hopeful that we'd see a Lexus LFA today being a Jap car meet, but I think that would be a little bit wishful, given that they're currently worth about £500,000. But we do have a row of Lexuses here nonetheless, and they do look pretty cool. But we did see that NSX, which was a pretty cool thing to see. But I was also sort of hoping, with it being the 50th anniversary of the GTR, that we'd see a Hakosuka. And I've had my eyes peeled and I've seen a lot of 240Zs, but I have not seen a Hakosuka. With all of these 2JZ Mark IV Supras rocking around, I actually totally nearly missed this one, and I'm glad I walked all the way down to the corner here, again, despite being this fat and out of breath. The new Supra. So this is actually pretty much a BMW power plant, BMW interior, but Litchfield last week, I know, I've got their hands on one of these, and I believe they're tuning it. Now they're quoted at 320 horsepower, I think, around that, and I think actually they're pushing closer to 380 from factory, so they're a lot more powerful than's being quoted. And when it was put up against the new BMW Z4, which is effectively the same car, this is actually significantly faster, despite being pretty much the same car. So hopefully, with lots of space for vents to be added to it, as well as mounts for wings actually pre-installed from factory pretty much from Toyota, these things should be incredibly tunable despite having the BMW powertrain. And I'm really excited to see what Litchfield do with this, because I think this thing could be really, really sick with just a couple of stage upgrades and a bit more space for intercool events. Yet another EBA GTR's rolled up to ruin my thunder, but it's actually a standard Recaro edition, just like my one over there, but obviously it's the newer splitter at the front, but it's actually running the Nissan Nismo wing at the back, which looks really nice, full carbon, and it actually really finishes off the look nice. Of course, in comparison with my one, it's got the LED headlights, the diamond cut alloys, but honestly, that Nismo wing looks so good on a standard Recaro car that I'm genuinely quite tempted to get that. That looks really cool. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that incredibly short vlog, but we are bouncing because I feel like I've seen everything, and I've got enough B-roll to make a video, and that's the aim of the game, guys. So I will see you guys very soon with more awesome content. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.